Well, the fun is continuing in the Shimano recall saga. Lawsuits have been filed in the US. We're going to get to that in just a moment, but a few other updates on some other things. And first things first, welcome back to Dobbs Cycle Works. My name is Dobbs, and yeah, let's go ahead and jump into today. And what we're going to be talking about, this is part 3 of our little series we're doing here on this Shimano recall, because things keep kind of changing and we have to keep updating what's going on. The first big update was I got a call on last Sunday or so from my local bike shop where I had taken mine in to get it checked out, that they needed me to bring it back in to have it rechecked and fully disassembled, had pictures taken of it, and sent back in to Shimano to make sure everything was all good to go. Apparently, Shimano just updated them on this. This was not part of the original update or the original recall that was sent to them, and they got this guidance afterwards saying, no, we need you to take it apart and send us pictures. So this wasn't included in the original notice sent to bike shops. So how many was it sent to that didn't know they were supposed to be doing this? And this will kind of get into one of the points of the lawsuit that I'll talk about in here just a moment. And I want to make this clear, this is absolutely no way a dig on my local shop, which is a fantastic shop. I love it so much. They are great people and it's a great place to take your bike. So this is not a dig on them. This is a dig on Shimano, not giving them the tools and information that they needed to make the actual correct diagnosis. So part of the lawsuit that was filed mentions just that Shimano is expecting local bike shops to carry out these very major technical engineering inspections and make a decision based on that. Something that they are not really trained to do. This shouldn't be up to them to make that decision. This needs to be Shimano recalls every single unit that was affected and replaces it. I am now firmly taking that position, and I am with that 100% because that is what they say here in this lawsuit. And you guys have been saying the same thing down in the comments on the previous video, and I want to say that yes, I am 100% with you. They need to replace all 2.8 million units. I am saying it right now as clear as possible. That is what should happen. I'm getting a little bit frustrated as this thing goes along. At first I was like, we'll see, and we'll see how this kind of plays out and what they do and what they handle it with. But the more and more it's going on, the more and more I'm really getting tempted to just order a new FSA or rotor or any other third-party crank and just slap it on my bike because I'm getting a little sick of this. To get into the lawsuit, this was filed on October the 3rd of 2023 and just made public a few days ago. It was released in full. You can read the full lawsuit on classaction.org. We're going to link to this down in the description of this video, so you will be able to get to the video there. This has also been reported on by Bike Radar. You can also check out their article. We'll link to that one as well. Basically, they're saying that they knew the cranksets were defective and continued to sell them anyway because these were sold for 11 years. These were sold for a decade. A decade that they knew that these cranks were defective and they continued to sell them. So if you do go to classaction.org, like I was saying, you can read the entire lawsuit. We'll bring it up right here real quick. This was filed, the plaintiffs, Jose Arazo, Kevin Lidham, Maurice Gorsellini, and Marcus Lewis, and individually on behalf of others similarly situated. So yes, this is a class action complaint. What I do find interesting is the demand for a jury trial that they have right here on the front page. And it's important to note that the defendants listed in this case are Shimano North America Bicycle Inc., Shimano North America Holding, and Specialized Bicycle Components, and Trek Bicycle Corporation, because they are also including them in it, basically saying they were complicit, knowing that these cranks were defective and not safe for riders, and they were still selling them anyway and just not really giving it. So I haven't read through the entire 72 pages yet. It is quite a long document, but basically the gist of what I'm seeing so far is they are demanding that all 2.8 million units be replaced. No questions. That is what needs to happen. These need to be replaced, not just inspected and sent back. Because again, like we're saying, they're trusting the inspections and this very important engineering decision to bike mechanics that are not qualified to make that call. And it's, again, no dish against my local bike mechanics. It's just not something I think they should be responsible for. I think they're unfairly putting the burden of this on the local bike shops instead of actually taking the responsibility themselves of what they need to do. Now, a lot of people have wondered, what would a full replacement look like? And what I'm thinking most likely is going to be the situation, if that does come, is what we would get as the consumers affected by it is a new 12-speed crank arm set. We would get Ultegra or Dura-Ace 12-speed crank arms and then just put on our 11-speed rings on them, because you can do that. We've seen a couple pro teams doing that in the last season or so. That is something that can do. They will still fit the 11-speed chain rings, so you can still use them with your group set and you'd be okay there. So I think that is the most likely case of what would happen, is we would all get those, not a full crank set, but the crank arms themselves to then mount our chain rings too. But then there still is the question of what is going to happen with the people who had these delaminations and got rid of the crank, because as expected, they're just kind of out of luck at this point, which really is not making me happy that these people had these crank sets, they failed, they may have even let Shimano know about it back then, and now they're just hung out to dry, which I just think it's just really, this is something that I think could drive a lot of people back over to SRAM and Campagnolo and trying out the new FSA or whatever they're gonna have, whatever they wanna go with, because this is not being handled well at all. This has really just been a complete show. I'm even seeing comments on some of my other social medias with keeping conversation going about this, where people are mentioning that when they call their local bike shop, they're being told that the work isn't covered and that they would still have to pay for the repairs, which it definitely is covered, but it seems like a miscommunication between Shimano and the local bike shops. They're dropping the ball all over the place on what actually needs to be done and what's expected of these bike shops to be able to help out with the situation. So again, I think it's unfairly putting the pressure on them instead of where it needs to be on Shimano. Shimano needs to be the ones handling every single bit of this from step 1 to step 2. So we're hoping that maybe with this class action lawsuit, that might actually get us to where we want to be. But yeah, that's about it for this update right now. We're obviously still going to be following this because this is not going to be the end of it, because I keep thinking, oh, well, I took my bike in and it's fixed and we're good to go. Nope, it keeps on changing and things keep on happening. So this will probably be going on for another couple months now that this lawsuit's been filed. So we're going to keep following it and keep letting us know your opinions down in the comments, and let us know what you think. What should Shimano do? What should the bike shops do? What should you as the consumer do? And yeah, hopefully if you do have one of these crank sets, you do get it taken in and just get it checked out. Please, begging you, just do it. It's what you need to do. Rider safety is number one. That is always number one, is your safety. So please take your bike in, get it checked out, at least have that little bit of peace of mind until we can get some more information from Shimano on what we can do. But yeah, please stay safe out there. Ride safe, have a good time, take care. We will see you next time here on Dobbs Cycle Works.